All right, thank God they brought back Unsolved Mysteries because I truly dug most of these volumes. Volume 4 came out about a month ago. Volume 5 comes out in October. Is Volume 4 worth your time? Let's go through them. Chase Liaki here with the Blue Futon, going over the 5 episodes that are in Unsolved Mysteries Volume 4. And let's just go through it. And because I'm not going to give the overall score of what I think right now, I'm going to go in deep dive every single one just a little bit because some of them were a lot better than others. I think it started weak, it ended weak, but had a very solid 3 episodes in the middle. So the first one is Who Was Jack the Ripper? Okay. I understand that in 1888, we are still very fascinated by Jack the Ripper and who done it. I'm sorry. This is an unsolved mystery that will always stay unsolved. Yes, I understand in this movie or in this show or the episode, they're like, you could open up a trunk and there'll be some evidence. I'm sorry, no. I'm at a point where, yes, what happened to these women was grotesque, was horrifying, but this was 1888, people. I hate to say it's time to move on, but this is time to move on. And I don't need another what if story about Jack the Ripper because I just felt like it was not needed whatsoever. So pretty simple, story. Episode 2, Body in the Basement. So this is probably the most fascinating one, if I can remember, unless I talk about this throughout. But this was one about guy walks in, his girlfriend or wife, not mistaken wife, yes, is in the basement. I mean, blood everywhere. This is one of the gruesomest crime scenes I've seen. Not because it's gory, it's bloody. I mean, I don't know how much blood that I've seen crime scenes before where it's like, oh, there's some blood here, but this was something ridiculous. And there is no, like, in a piggy bank, right? And so now I got to think about how this happened. If I had to take a random guess, they're either saying it was a freak accident fall or it could have been some like lover or a murder. The problem with the murder thing, there are no footprints. If you have that much blood, there's got to be some type of evidence of like blood spatter on the carpet, blood spatter somewhere else. Because, I mean, with that much blood, it just feels like it's really freaking odd. This is probably the most baffling one that, again, it's going to be hard to solve this one just because of the crime scene being so freaking weird and blood with only her blood, no other blood on the scene, the piggy bank, and just the dog of like, it's just so many what ifs or like what the hell happened in this story where if this gets solved, I'll be baffled because watching this, it was probably one of the more intriguing ones, but it was just like, just holy shit, ridiculous. All right, the next one, the severed head. I think this is more fascinating because there's this 15-year-old that really walks in, I think, West Virginia, if not mistaken, and finds a severed head in the forest. The severed head feels like it's been embalmed. It's perfectly preserved. They don't have no idea whose head it is. I think this one, they kind of know who did it. There was this weird guy on the hill with a telescope. That's all I'm going to say. And he done it. I'm sorry. I truly think he done it. And unfortunately, the guy is dead. So here's another one where I just think that, yes, this is a very interesting story of what could happen or whose head this is. And I think that's the most interesting thing as well, is we can't find the body. I mean, so, like, this is baffling where it's like someone's just going to randomly open a grave and be like, oh, the head. There's no head. And I think that's the most interesting thing about this one. Like I said, though, I do think this one is quote-unquote solved of who done it. But will we figure out whose body it is? Probably never, because the person who I think done it is dead. All right, the fourth one, Murder Center Stage. So this is, I'm not mistaken, Trinity College with a piano. And this is another one where it was sad. This is a sad story where this lady was apparently playing the piano and someone probably came behind her and brutally massacred her. I mean, just horrific stuff happened to her. Uh, and so this is an interesting one. I think it happened in the 70s, and they're trying to figure out who've done it, where they do think it is a dude that played a cop character. And I think that's the best, but the best thing that happened. Again, I think this is one where the person that they think done it died. So unfortunately, the only way you're going to get this unsolved mystery if a murder weapon shows up at this dude's house or just some random stroke of luck happens. But here's another unsolved mystery that I found interesting, fascinating, and I was intrigued about what this story was going to portray, because this is the one where a lot of outsiders are trying to find this story as well. Multiple cops just trying to figure out what this unsolved mystery is. And I think with these movies or these episodes, it's kind of sad because you just, like, when you watch them, you're just like, there's no way these are going to get solved, and that's kind of unfortunate. All right, the last one, the Mothman Revisited. So this one isn't about murders. It's about this Mothman character. Remember the Mothman Prophecies? This was a Richard Gere movie that I think came out between 2004 and 2007. Probably a movie I probably need to rewatch. I think they're coming up with a 4K release soon. But I don't know. With UFOs, I have a hard time believing, because I swear to God, like, you would think there would be one solid picture. And there is something in this story. It's like, well, we do. It's a GoPro footage of a bicycle guy, and we have footage up there, and it's like, that's a speck. That could be a bird. That could be a speck. That could be a glitch in the camera. No, that is not a fucking Mothman. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm just like, people are saying Bigfoot's real, UFOs, Mothman, Sasquatch. Where's the fucking evidence? Yes, there is vast. I mean, have you ever been to Alaska? I have. The vast forestry of it is memorable. Where it's like, how it has. It also terrifies me at the same time. It's like someone could easily kill someone, put a body in like a Cessna, and just open the door, throw the body in this forest, and it will never be found. So it does make you wonder how many dead bodies are out in this forest or in the desert that's never going to be found. Like the Nevada desert, come on now. There's got to be a shit ton of bodies out there because the gangsters in Vegas in the 50s, 40s, 30s. Of course, there's going to be shit out there. So I'm thinking Alaska as well. Where am I going with this? Oh, yeah, Mothman. I don't believe it. I'm sorry. This one, it was 40 minutes. It was the shortest one. And there's a reason it's the shortest one, because you don't have a lot of evidence in this one. It's more of like a creature with red eyes are coming after you. And you have this Jonathan here. I'm sorry. That mental illness. That's all I'm going to say there. Mental illness on that one. But anyway, when thinking about this Unsolved Mysteries, I would say I'm a little bit underwhelmed with Volume 4 with all 5 of them. I remember a lot of them having like solid stories, but I think this one kind of is more okay, just because Jack the Ripper, yes, it's interesting, but I could give two shits about it anymore. I'm sorry. It's just one of the ones where it's never going to be solved. And there's just so many iterations of it that it kind of gets tiring. And then the Mothman, I'm sorry, another one where it's like, come on now, really? I would rather have Unsolved Mysteries where we could actually solve something and clear the air and help family members get clarity. But still, Unsolved Mysteries is a acted is the wrong word, but just well filmed, well interviewed, and polished series. So Unsolved Mysteries Volume 4 will receive a 3.5 out of 5 with Futons, which equals that 70%. Critics News Scores gave this one overall Unsolved Mysteries is at a 78 and 74, but when we go to Volume 4, we are at an 85 with the audience, and critics, we are at 2 positives, but we're at a 3 out of 5 and something normal. So 85, we'll go with that 170. Chase Sock here with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. I don't know if things Futontopia. You Blue Tony, thank you for watching. Have a great day. I'm watching Tate tomorrow, a week from now, a month, and a year from now. I love every single freaking one of you. And I do think Unsolved Mysteries Volume 5 comes out very soon, actually.